doing something a little different. So I was cleaning through my desk and found this. Apparently I wrote a letter to myself February 7th, 2017, with instructions to open it February 7th, 2022. I missed that day, but it's still February 2022, so let's see what I wrote. I feel I vaguely remember that I was like giving someone a gift of like a write a letter to yourself guide, and I thought, oh, that would be really interesting. I want to do it as well. So I did, and kind of completely forgot about it. Wow, this notebook paper yellowed. Ooh, we have a couple of pages. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know how cringe this is gonna be. I picked up one of those letters to my future self letter kits the other day at work. I love the idea, but since it would make a fun gift for my friend, I'd rather do it this way without the fancy prompt envelopes. Let's begin. Okay, I guess there were, I think it was like a little flip book and I guess it had envelopes. Okay. When I imagine myself all grown up, I'm already, so I'm mostly grown. I guess is more full adult. So where will I be then? I'm not sure. I don't think I'll still be at Strand. Oh my god, I was right. I bet I'll be in New York still. Yep. Hopefully I'll be supporting myself with writing and acting and stuff. Yes. Can I do that in 5 years? I can, me! I can! You just have to have a mental breakdown and leave having job security and you could do whatever you want. I'd like to be married? What? Oh, I had just been dumped and I still had feelings. Oh, I love like the things that you write when you like are having feelings, and then the second those feelings are gone, you just look back and you're just like, what was I on? Because no. Wait, had I been recently dumped or was I still in the relationship? No, I was like recently dumped. This was like a handful of weeks after being dumped. Oh, stupid, ignorant me. My room is like this. An overcrowded mess with too much furniture and not enough space. I still feel like that's pretty accurate. I still have the bed from my childhood. Oh, this is from my old apartment. Oh, dang. I did. I was sad getting rid of that bed. My grandpa had built it, but it just didn't really make sense to have anymore. Life goals, less stuff, and more space. I definitely have more space. I think I have more stuff, though. Still would like to have less. When I was little, does this mean now or my actual childhood? My childhood sucked, yeah. My life now is pretty good. I have a great job as an events assistant. Oh, I was like new to events. Okay. I'm starting to get some work. Yeah, my writing is coming along, so overall things are great. Not sure what else to add here. My actual childhood is already being written down in my autobiography. Oh, that's right. I was writing an autobiography. That project has been on the back burner for probably 5 years. I can't believe I'm writing, I meant to write one of those. Can't believe I'm writing one of those. I forgot the word one. Yeah, oof. I wonder if I ever really will write an autobiography. I think that was more like therapeutic for me to write than like a serious project. Here's a little bit about my family. Oof. My mom is in a play. I wonder what play that was. Oh, I wonder if All the World's a Pickle, if it was that one. Andy is fairly busy. Real Mommy Confessions got picked up, so we'll be working together again soon. That fell apart. John, well, he's alive, or at least has a pulse. My parents are doing well, though. Mom seems to be getting the ball rolling, which is awesome. We three actually just had a wonderful dinner together at Tocqueville. Oh, Tocqueville. I remember that. I thought that was when I lived here, but apparently it wasn't. Interesting. I remember that because that was like a birthday dinner for my mom. And the place that we were talking about going to, we didn't have reservations, and it turned out that they were like really busy. So then I was like looking up other French restaurants and saw Tocqueville, and we went, and we were definitely underdressed because the place we were planning on going was much more casual. And then we went into this other fantastic restaurant, really good food, but like definitely a place where you need to kind of dress up. Felt really out of place. It was great. I recommend them. Expensive, but like good food. Just make sure you dress well. I am so full. Let me tell you about school. I graduated handful of years ago. I miss my friends and class and the campus, but I don't miss school. That was a horrid environment for me. Bubble children. Okay, I know what I was talking about. I still agree with that sentiment. Oh, a little bit mean. It was a little bit mean. So I actually love school. I love learning. The thing that bothered me was, so it's kind of a thing that like the older you get, the more I've been encountering it, is like there's such a just difference in, it's not maturity, it's just like, I don't know, it's like exposure to life and how things really work. So it's just the difference of like being in school and like a mildly sheltered environment versus being out in the real world. You just kind of, once you're out and you're supporting yourself, working, all of that, there's just a shift after a handful of years. That it's not like, oh, your opinions change or anything like that. Like, I still have the same opinions and viewpoints that I did back in college. It's just now I have a lot more life experience. So it's less, I don't know, less of an idealistic, naive way of looking at things or handling situations. And now being able to address things in a more knowledgeable way. And I find that now, if I spend a lot of time with people who are either in school or just got out of school, that after a while it's just kind of like, oh, you haven't learned yet, and like that's fine, but you're gonna have moments that you're gonna get really, really frustrated because it's not what you have imagined. And I know an older person like telling a younger person like, no, you'll learn, you'll see, is one of the most aggravating things ever. So like I guess I technically am doing that. I'm part of the problem, I'm sorry. But like there is a shift in just, I don't know, like how to approach things or what to realistically expect from a situation or an encounter. Yeah, it's and I felt it after oh gosh, I had moved here. I think also my job made a big difference, so like doing something like events, because it was a lot, anyone who does something like working in events or coordination or, you know, certain fields of production, it's just constantly like putting out fires and like dealing with situations as they come and just rolling with a bunch of changes, because like it doesn't matter how well you plan something, something's gonna go wrong that you didn't plan to have go wrong. And that kind of like forced me to be more elastic in certain situations, or just being quicker to adapt to something or figure something out just like on the fly. And I, like, that pushed me then a lot to be less of a bubble child. Because it's just like, okay, well, this is what I planned for, this is what I prepared, but none of that matters right now. I need to just immediately, like, I need to address this problem and make sure, like, all of these different people get what they need so that this event still runs smoothly and everything is fine. So yeah, it kind of like pushed me to, I don't want to say grow up, because I don't view it as that. It did push me to, I guess, just grow. It pushed me to grow. And now when I see, kids who are fresh to the city and they're just like, oh yeah, so there's one person who I'll lightly tease, because I doubt I would ever see this person again, but we were working a job together, and he was saying like, oh yeah, I just graduated and I'm just starting, and I figure I'll be getting principal roles in films by the end of the summer. It's like, no, you won't. No, you won't. I'm sorry. Like, yes, there's a 1 in a billion chance maybe you'll get insanely lucky, but like, that's not how it works. That's just not how it works. So that's, that change of like, learn realistic expectations, because that's not what's going to happen. Or like another person that I was working with who was new to events and didn't understand how to handle a situation when things didn't go as planned, and didn't understand that you had to adapt. And then it's like, okay, well, that's not going to work, so let's take a minute, think, and readdress it. And she just like couldn't do that. Like, ooh, you gotta learn to be more flexible, or else you're not gonna make it in this business. But yeah, it's just, I just think it comes from, it's not age, I think it's just exposure to different kinds of situations. That way you can just kind of figure out how best to navigate them. I feel really old saying all of this. Okay, I'm on to the second page of only 2. These are full pages. Wow. I do love writing. My friends and I love to watch movies and talk about shows and games. We also play games together sometimes. Most of my hangout times are at parties where we stand around and talk. It's fairly minimal, but it's pleasant. It may change when I have more free time and when I live closer to anyone. Oh yes! Okay, this is when I lived in Manhattan and I didn't live around any of my friends. Now I live in Brooklyn and still don't really live by any of my friends. But also, that was actually a thing that I noticed since leaving having a day job, is I don't really hang out with anyone anymore, because most of them still have a day job, and I'm like, yeah, our schedules like don't sync up. And then I started doing Twitch and YouTube and now like content creation. So pretty much I only see people if I'm on a job with them. Or my roommate, and we just binge watch a whole bunch of trash TV, and it's delicious. Or occasionally, like, actual good shows. Sometimes. Mostly just trash TV. But yeah, I don't really hang out in person with people. It's mostly, like, online D&D with my college buddies. That's, like, my main regular interaction. And then Twitch chat, or like chatting with people on Discord, or just sending a million TikToks to a bunch of people and them sending them back. Or IG, like cat photos. Yeah, it's just been really interesting, like since the pandemic started, how much more of my interactions have like changed to be virtual. And I don't really see that going back, since now so much of what I do is virtual. And interacting with large groups of people who I don't know, where they've been, it scares me still, quite honestly. I don't know if I'll ever get over that, because I already like didn't love I was already an introvert, so like I think this whole situation has just made me that much more of an introvert. I'm not really complaining. I know it by heart. What? I wrote, oh dear, random stuff? I still know most of these songs from musicals I've done, a few dance routines, a poem or two. That's too broad a prompt. That is too broad a prompt. What songs do I know from musicals that I've done? Oh, I guess I do know some of them. Yeah. What poems do I know? I used to have memorized, like, the crappy poems I've written, which, if you guys ever, they're so bad. They are so bad. Oh, I should do a video of me reading my really bad poetry. It's technically been published. I hate it. It makes me cringe. It makes me cringe. I am not a poet. I don't understand poetry. I don't read it. I don't particularly enjoy it, but every once in a while, mainly when I'm feeling very depressed, I will attempt a poem. And the results they're not good. But it makes me feel better, and that's what matters, right? This is a very special place. Morton Hall! Oh my god! Morton Hall was the hall at my college campus where our video game club met. Oh, absolutely still Morton Hall. I love that place. There have been times where I visited after I graduated where I didn't have a place to sleep, and so I would just straight up crash in, like, the game room. And it was really cute because one time one of the janitors who was going around cleaning, like, came in and just kind of, like, poked me. He was like, are you okay? Do you need me to call someone? I was like, nah, I'm just broke and this is cheaper than a hotel. Thanks, bud. It was really, really sweet. Oh, technically probably illegal, but, like, it was free. I don't really have a place in New York yet. Wait, yes, that spot in Central Park on the rocks by the water. I love that spot. What? Oh, I think I know what spot I mean. I haven't been there probably since I wrote this, but I think I know what spot I mean. On the rocks by the water. Yeah, I want to say, and you can, like, kind of see the castle looking thing. Like, sorry, I have, like, a vision of me hanging on some rocks. Hanging out on some rocks, not hanging, like, from rocks. I was, like, hanging out on some rocks, water, up in a hill, castle-looking thing that I think I went into once, and it's, like, a gift shop. Is that what it was? I think that's what I'm talking about. I haven't been to Central Park in so long, which honestly is really sad. I love, love, love parks. I adore parks. I love being around some nature. I haven't done anything like that since the pandemic started. So hopefully at some point, sooner rather than later, I can go to a park and touch some trees. That would be very nice. If I became a world leader... I would be better than Trump. That's not me complimenting myself, just a basic fact. Okay, me. Anyway, I would strive for peace and a good education system. I would look at other countries and see how various successful systems were run and try to copy them. I wouldn't tolerate any corruption. I would have education in prisons and jails to teach them. Stuff like that. All right. I would also legalize sex work and decriminalize things like marijuana. And defund the police. You know, the basic things as a person who cares about people. This is what's on my mind right now. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Yeah, love. A certain person falling in love with a certain person, trying to figure out our situation. I've never felt like this before. I wonder what will happen. Oh, what'll happen is that he's gonna be real, real weird to you for, like, a while, treating you like his girlfriend, but not actually dating you. Even letting people think that you're his girlfriend, but not actually doing that. And eventually you're gonna be like, this is weird and I don't understand it, so bye! After you write a piece about your situation when you're really upset that also got published. So thank you for the story that I then got published. Bye. And that was the last time I ever dated. It's not worth it to me. A pep talk to my future self. Oof. Oof. No matter where you are or what you're doing, remember how far you've come. You've worked hard and have managed to stand on your own 2 feet in one of the most unforgiving cities in the world. You took a leap of faith most people can't do, so be proud. Aww. I mean, that's true. I moved to New York City without ever having been here. That was a leap of faith. I had no idea what I was gonna do. I had no connections here. Ugh. Happy birthday to me? What? Oh, that's one of the prompts. I was like, my birthday's in February. That's an odd prompt. Yes, it is. And it's the last one. How lame. And at an age where I am starting to freak out more and more about the number increases. Yeah. I don't like talking about age or thinking about my age, which in case you haven't noticed is why I never say it. I mean, that number isn't old at all, but I want it to be farther along by now. Slowly but surely. That's true. It's very true. I always feel really depressed when I think about my age. Oh, well, it's the whole Julius Caesar situation when Julius Caesar looked out across the land and wept because he was thinking about how much further along Alexander the Great was by his age. And I feel that. And I know it's really bad. I know ageism is really bad and it's a problem. And, you know, people are trying to change that. It's so ingrained in me. I constantly battle with like feeling like a failure because I expected like these certain goals for myself by now and I haven't hit any of them. So I'm definitely upset by it. But I do have to take comfort in the fact that I am a lot closer to all of those goals than I ever was. The fact that I have a lot of different goals, so, you know, I'm not laser focused onto any one thing. I'm juggling a lot of different plates, which, you know, just means it's going to take that much longer. And that at least I'm going for it. Because there are a lot of people that I know who they want to be doing the same things as me, and they will repeatedly tell me that they want to be doing my same things, and they just don't do it. Which to me makes no sense, because, you know, why not at least try? You might fail. You might. But what if you don't? And also, like, even if you fail, at least you tried. And so you can take comfort in that of, like, you put yourself out there, you put yourself outside of your comfort zone, and it might not have given you the results that you wanted, but you still took something away from it. You'll still have some kind of experience from it. And I don't understand then, at least personally, I don't understand, like, why not even try in the first place? So I don't know if it's a fear of failure, like, that's one thing. I technically have that. I still try everything anyway, but I'm definitely terrified of being a failure. But I don't know, maybe it's a difference of an all or nothing mentality. No, I kind of have that too. I don't know, I just think that it's worth it. It's worth it to try. It might not work out the way that you hope, but it could also introduce you to something else that would work, that would make you really happy and that you maybe hadn't thought of before. Like, I think that I think also one of the things is how ingrained it is for a lot of people, how, you know, parents or society or what have you have like taught like you go to school, you go to college, you get a degree, you get like a regular day job, and you do that forever, and then you die. And also, you like reproduction happens in there. Um, but like, you don't have to do that. I think I got really lucky because I grew up, you know, like my mom's an actor. She's been an actor her whole life, so I've always seen my mom like doing this creative job, or you know, a job in a creative field. So not having a day job, being a breadwinner, but you know, no 9 to 5 at the office or something like that. So I knew that there were other options. And I feel like a lot of the people who I do talk to who want to try it, maybe not necessarily acting, but they want to try something different, or even just like traveling. My mom's also really into travel, so I'm used to that. The fact that I was not born in this country. um, you know, I feel like it made me a lot more comfortable with those ideas, whereas people who are raised in a different environment, they're not as comfortable with those ideas because it's not familiar to them. They haven't actually seen it close to them and it work out and it be fine. So it seems just like a weird, just like wish or a fantasy. It's like, but it's not. It's not. There's so many of us who do this. I'm not super successful at all by any stretch of the imagination. Like, yes, I do support myself without having a regular day job, and I'm very fortunate for that. I'm able to support myself with various gigs. Right now, I'm mainly supporting myself by being a stage manager and by being a script supervisor and AD for a director who I've worked with a handful of times now, and so now he's like calling me up, and we're gonna start working on a movie in a couple months. I was not born with that connection. That like happened, and now we have like a good working connection, and so he will call me up. The stage manager thing, I didn't, I wasn't born with that connection either. That was I started out as a stagehand at a performance college, and now have like worked my way up, and I'm even like helping out in their offices sometimes. So like these are all jobs that are in the creative field. And now I don't book a lot of acting jobs. I audition a lot. I don't book a lot. I'm working on a bunch of writing projects, but I haven't sold any of them yet. Or lately. So, I don't have like money coming in from that. And those are my two main careers. I've also added being a Twitch streamer and a YouTuber to that. Now that I do get money, which I'm super, super thankful for. But none of that happened on its own. Like I had to, and none of that was a guarantee. I was just kind of very fortunate that by removing my safety net, by getting rid of that day job, I didn't have a thing I could fall back on. So it was very much like, okay, sink or swim, and put all of my energy and attention into these various gigs. And it's worked out. And I think it could work out for kind of anyone. I mean, I remember before I really got into acting being told, like, if you give 10 years to this career, you'll get something. You might not be an A-lister, probably won't be an A-lister. But that's not the goal. And that should never be your goal. If you're trying to do something like acting, it should not be to be famous. If that is your goal, pick a different job because it's not going to happen. Savage, sorry, but it won't. You do it because you love it, and that's what gets you through all of the hard times, is because you're doing something because you genuinely love it, doing it. And if you give it something like 10 years, you're gonna get something back. It might not be something great, but you'll have something. And by then you'll probably will get something more consistent. I have not been in the business for 10 years, but it's getting closer. I'm comfortably close to 10 years. And now I am, so it's like, okay, I'm not only doing acting jobs, but I am only doing jobs within the creative fields. within things like production. Great. Did I think I could do that when I first started? No. I hoped, but, you know, like, now I'm actually living it, and that's great. So yeah, I think if anyone has an interest in doing stuff like that, just go for it. Just go for it. You know, if push comes to shove and I end up, you know, not getting so much stage manager work as a backup, or if I never got it in the first place, okay, well then I would go back and get a different job, like something to support myself. But I would have tried, and I probably would try again at some point when I got fed up with that day job. Like, there are no real rules about what you can and can't do with your life. Like, it's your life. And if you want to try something, just do it. As long as it's you're not hurting anyone. Asterisk, for legal reasons. That was a lot of monologuing. I should not have free reign on saying words. That was me from 2017. And me from 2022. Maybe I should do another one of these. Like, write another 5-year letter and see what all changes then. Can't believe I wrote that I wanted to be married. How? Oh, I was so stupid. I think my mom still blames that boy for my lack of interest in dating. It's actually not because of him. Well, I hope this was something. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope it was interesting. I hope it was fun. Should I make another letter? Maybe I should. See the difference between 2022 and 2027. I'm still interesting, so I liked exploring that. See you guys next time. Bye!
Shout out and thank you to all my Patreon supporters. Thank you! If you'd like to support the show, check out my Patreon page and my Redbubble store. Links are included in the description down below. That's right, I got swag. Swag as in merch, not swag as in swagger. I'm still a nerd. Thanks for tuning in. Bye!